In this episode, you will discover how to use Ikigai so that you can navigate your career and life transitions with clarity and purpose. Welcome to the Midlife Reinvention Podcast, a podcast helping women in career and life transitions achieve clarity on their next steps so they can transform uncertainty into an energizing next chapter. I'm your host, Kavita, and the founder of It's My Time Now Coaching. If you're wondering what's next in your career or life, you are in the right place. Through solo and guest episodes, you'll gain practical tips, tools, and inspiration to help you uncover blocks, gain confidence, and be, do, and have what you want. I rediscovered myself after the age of 50, and I know you can too. It's my time now to help you do just that. I'm so excited you're here. Let's dive in. What if your next chapter isn't about starting over, but evolving into the most aligned version of yourself? In today's episode, I'm joined by transformational leader and founder of Travel Gems, Niki, as we explore the power of Ikigai, the Japanese concept of reason for being, and how it can guide you through your career and life transitions with clarity, confidence, and purpose. If you've ever felt like something's missing, even when things look successful on the outside, this conversation will speak to you deeply. We talk about what it really means to reinvent yourself, how to know when it's time to evolve, and why your unique gifts are needed now more than ever. Let's dive in. You don't want to miss this. And you don't want to miss a great opportunity to attend a live retreat called Ikigai in Nature in Zermatt, Switzerland this June at a discount for being a listener of the Midlife Reinvention podcast. I'm excited to be attending this retreat in June, where I will also be interviewing live the author of the famous book, Ikigai, The Japanese Secret to a Long and Happy Life, by the name of Francis Morales. So stay till the end to hear all the juicy details and to claim your discount. Welcome to the Midlife Reinvention Podcast, a career and life transitions podcast. If you're asking yourself, what's next? You are in the right place. I interview incredible women across the globe for this podcast who share their stories of reinvention and who will give you their insights and expertise on how to rediscover who you really are, what you really want, and how to get there in your next stage of life. This week, I'm especially thrilled to have on the show Niki. I discovered Niki and her great work as I was researching experts on the concept of Ikigai. And since then, have learned so much more about her work. So much so that I am attending her retreat in June called Ikigai in Nature in Zermatt, Switzerland, where I will also be interviewing live Francis Morales, who is the author of the famous book, Ikigai, The Japanese Secret to a Long and Happy Life. So I'm very excited about that. But I'm especially excited about speaking with Niki now. And she's going to talk about a special offer as well at the end of this podcast for our listeners. So stay tuned for that. But before we start, Niki is a lifelong student of humanity, transformational leadership. She's an expert and an entrepreneur. She created the You Do You strategy, which is a unique approach that makes philosophy and spirituality accessible, integrating them seamlessly into business models. Niki's aim is to help people align with their personal purpose and live a fulfilling life so that together we can collectively grow. With over 20 years of international experience in corporate strategy, psychology, and personal development, Niki is committed to guiding individuals and bridging the gap between personal fulfillment and professional success. And if that's not enough, she is the founder of Travel Gems, which is Europe's leading luxury well-being company. And Niki has had the privilege of working with visionaries like Deepak Chopra, Esther Perel, and so many other amazing teachers. I am so honored to have you on the show today, Niki. How are you doing?
Thank you very much. This is an incredible introduction. Thank you so much. It's great to be with you today and with all your, of course, with everybody, the audience, because we are here, all of us together. So,
Yes.
great to meet you. We have long hours difference. I am in Greece and you are in Canada, right?
Yes. Yes. This podcast is called, has the word reinvention. Speaking with you, you talk a lot about evolution, and I believe they're very similar concepts. And so please tell our audience about your evolution. You have 2 master's degrees in business, and now you're running one of Europe's leading retreat and wellness companies. And so you said you had never really set out to build that to start a company, a retreat company. So how did this happen? How did you go from one to the other, and how did you evolve?
Okay, first of all,
Yes.
I need to start from something that I have a special chapter inside my book. My book
Yes.
is called You Know. And the special chapter in my book is the difference between change and evolution.
Mm.
And we start from that because I think this is very important. So change is situational. Change is something that we don't actually expect, or it's something that we expect it can change our lives forever. Let's say a newborn baby. This is change. Or we just lost our job. Or we are empty nesters. This is a big change. And most of the times, and actually this is the case, it's outside of us. The difference is that evolution is internal. We evolve as humans. And the best age for that is exactly the age that we discuss right now. I don't have specific age brackets, but the moment you realize that your life needs to be reinvented. It might be when you are 35. It might be something that you're 45 or 50 or even 70 years old. But let me talk about my personal evolution that might have an interest, let's say. So I start really early as a corporate, in the corporate world. Like most of my life, it was like I was chief marketing officer of very big international companies. Imagine that I create around 320 commercials for multinational, like for India, to Russia, to Poland, to Colombia, like different type of communication and addressing the target groups.
Yes.
I laughed, but I did. I loved it. It was really nice because the exposure, the national exposure was really nice.
Yes.
When I was 35, I became a mother. Now
Yes.
my kids now are 30, they are 20 years old. I'm 55 years old. And I became a mother. I still like my job very much. But I realized my work there was that the one that gave me really pleasure and joy was the project that had to do with social responsibility. So this was something that I really loved. And I'm just saying this because it's important for the evolution of our discussion.
Yes.
Then there was a point that I was around 45 years old, something like that, that I said, I need to become an entrepreneur. There was like a specific, the situation in Greece wasn't so good. I start doing enough because I'm saying it wasn't good because there was the economic crisis, and maybe people know about the economic crisis in Greece. And I was going around the world due to my work, and everybody was saying things about Greeks that they weren't so nice. So I wanted to show the best face of Greece. I created an app about that's how the name is Travel Gems. My company's name is Travel Gems. I want to show the hidden gems of Greece. The truth is that the results, despite the fact that I invested a lot of money, wasn't successful at all. I had no sales.
Yes.
No, and I didn't know what happened. I didn't have no idea. But at the same time, I need to tell you that I didn't have an actual purpose. I had good intentions. I didn't have a real purpose behind my company,
Mm-hmm.
new startup. So I had good intention to show the good face of Greece around the world, but that was it. Nothing more. So at that time, the time that it was like real struggle, I had a struggle, and a struggle that actually gave me a health problem because I couldn't understand. All my life, I was extremely successful. Everything was going great. I had like big time, like as a corporate executive regarding successes. What was happening now?
Mm.
And that moment, I realized that something was missing. And I started going to books. A friend of mine, a very close friend of mine, gave me The Power of Now of Eckhart Tolle
Yes.
that I did not understand at first at all. I couldn't understand anything. I was reading
Yes. Yes.
Chinese to me. I had nothing to do with spirituality. So the moment I realized the real meaning of what does it mean to live your life now, I
Mm.
realized that what I create wasn't correct for me. Why it wasn't correct? It was a technological app. And what I love to do is connect people. This app disconnect people at that time. I didn't like it.
Mm-hmm.
I created product that I didn't like because of that reason. But the best part is that that failure gave me a big lesson. It showed me exactly what I like, which is to connect people,
Mm-hmm.
to connect and help them have an authentic smile, which is actually my personal purpose. That was the moment I found my personal purpose, and I changed completely the business model of my company. And now my company is the leading retreat company in Europe. And we work
Amazing.
with our teachers. And
Amazing.
everyone had a great flow. So
Mm.
before, through the struggle, I realized that everything was difficult. There wasn't any type of flow. I was trying harder, and so on. Then everything was easy and smooth.
Mm-hmm.
So I really think that universe give us the lesson, give us signs, and our body show us exactly what to do.
Mm-hmm.
If we feel good, then something good is going on. Not feel good.
Yes.
I think
You have to listen.
now
Oh, wow. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that, Nikki. I love everything that you said. And there's just so many things in there that I'd like to kind of highlight. The first is that you're talking about the difference between change and evolution. And I believe that is so true because I actually talked about the difference between change and transition, right? And you're so right because change is external to us. You lose a job. And in your case, you had your children. And that was the moment. That was the trigger. It was like, you loved what you were doing. The same thing happened to me. I loved what I was doing, but there was something inside. And so that internal trigger inside, that's what triggers the evolution or the transition in our lives. And you're right. It can happen at any time. And the other thing that I love when you said that you started your app, but it wasn't really fulfilling your purpose, or it wasn't fulfilling what your, I guess, Ikigai, right? And in the moment that you realize that, okay, what is it? Connecting people. This is your Ikigai. And when you apply that, then things just become easier and you get attracted to people. You now are like the leading company in Europe. You have people that you're working with, Deepak Chopra and amazing people like that. So I guess the lesson there is like, even like you said, even despite failures that we think we're going through, they're all lessons. And if we tap into that internal voice that tells us we need to change, we need to listen to her, then things become, as you said, in flow. So I love that. Just beautiful.
No,
Yes.
exactly. Because purpose is what drives progress.
Yes.
This is it. It gives us the clarity to focus on actions and turn potential into growth.
Mm-hmm.
This is it. So without purpose, evolution becomes movement without a meaning. But purpose gives direction. And of course, that is the moment that we thrive and we don't survive.
Mm.
This is very important because this is the only way to go. Because it's like if we evolve, and that's a great thing. We evolve first of all because life is evolving. Life is a continuous, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Again, as I say in my book, because I love sailing. In sailing, we say, where you look, you go.
Mm.
So if you don't know where to look, where are you going?
Yes.
You know?
Lovely.
Something that we didn't say regarding the evolution, because I think it's a continuous process.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yes, I have my company very recently, and I'm very happy about that. I finished my book, You Do You, and I can't believe this.
Congratulations. Tell us about the book. Tell us about this method that you've created. I mentioned a little earlier that it's an approach that makes philosophy and spirituality accessible. So that is very interesting for me, and I'm sure it is for our listeners. So how does this work? How can we use it in our daily lives? And tell us about it.
Well, actually, the book is like we try to figure out together in this book, what is this thing that we call life? Why? Because we connect philosophy, that everybody thinks that this is something very complicated and only people that they're extremely educated that they can read, with spirituality that can be complicated for people. They don't actually understand some concepts there. So I tried to connect these two words that I love, both of them, very much, and they help me very much in my life and in my evolution with something that I know very well, business strategy, because in my work, when I was in corporate, I was head of strategy in big companies. So I connect these two, spirituality and philosophy. I democratize them, as I say. I make them very simple by putting them inside business model. Because what I realized during the process of the book, actually, is the following. Humans have many common things as companies do. Most of them. Actually, the only one difference that exists is the following. Companies, in order to survive, they need to compete. Humans, if they compete, they will never thrive. Kavita is amazing, but this is the only main difference that exists. Because if companies don't have purpose and they just go for money, this is not a game that will last for long. They need to have purpose, as well as people. If they don't have real purpose, true potential, they will never see the true potential. They will just exist.
Mm-hmm.
If companies don't have the strategy, so how to get there, they don't know what to do. They just like, okay, we go for sales, we try this with the consumer, but they have no idea the exact actions they will do. It's the same with humans. They need to have an action plan that serves their Ikigai, their calling, the reason for being. They need to have a specific strategy.
Mm-hmm.
And exactly as companies, they create brands and they create the unique selling proposition of a product. Humans, we have our unique human qualities, to build on our brand, be so authentic and real, and propose our greatness in this world. So in summary, this
Beautiful.
is it.
Beautiful.
And of course, action plans and everything. So the book is not a book just to read and you set aside on your bed. It's actually something that you use, you work with, and you grow from. So, and I have to tell you something that it's important for people to know.
Yes.
You work because the journey requires effort. So the book is full of exercise. It's full of stories of other people because I really believe that we see ourselves through the life stories of others. I have seen this through our retreats. It's amazing. Like through the stories of other people, we see ourselves, and it doesn't matter the profession, from where you are, your age, it doesn't matter. You see yourself in other stories, and then you find yourself there, the commonalities, and you just take what you need.
Mm.
I have seen this in all our retreats. And
Well,
it's
this is
great.
yeah. I mean, this is why I do this podcast is because stories, other people's stories, like they're listening, somebody listening to you now, thinking, wow, look at Nikki did. Maybe I could do. I have this idea. Maybe not exactly the same thing, but just from your discussion about your evolution, maybe I can do the same evolution. Maybe even if I'm 80 years old, like you mentioned, That's wonderful. So I love that the companies and people need purpose. Companies and people need strategy and an action plan, and companies and people need the brand and the qualities, the branding. I wanted to ask you one thing. You said that the difference is that if humans compete with one another, we will not thrive.
Now, if people compete, they don't see their personal evolution. Their ego just try to make them become better than the other one.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have a board of directors. This is brilliant.
The board of directors is in our heads sometimes, right? Yes.
But what is that we have this amazing opportunity, and this is so nice and fantastic that even evolve, we can evolve collectively, all of us together. And there's no point of any competition. Actually, competition is not good. It's the opposite of thriving for humans. Because if you start always saying, okay, I need to become better from Mary, I need to become better than Peter, what he has done, why else haven't done this? So there are so many internal voices.
Yes.
No use of that.
No. Yeah, because we judge ourselves against what other people are doing. Then when we feel like we're not good enough because we're not doing as well as this person or this person. And then I love that when you mentioned the ego, I think that's what the key is that then the ego takes over. It's like we have to prove ourselves, and rather than just doing our very best in what we are gifts that we give to the world, we do our best, and then people will automatically be attracted to us, right?
Exactly. Because we need to be authentic. And I need to tell you that it's very, very close to the reinvention of life, which I love. But you do. I love it.
Thank you.
We create something in the book I call it PPT, Personal Point of Time, which is the following. Which life stage are you? What is your needs at that specific moment in time? Because this needs to be connected with your Ikigai. And this is very important, especially for your audience, because they have everyone, and I'm saying this once again, reinvention in life can be at 80, but also in 25 or 35.
Yes.
Okay, so it has nothing to do with age. Nevertheless, it has to do with the life states that you are right. So we are, especially if we are around 45, 50, 55, it's great, great life. Why? People say, oh my God, will become an empty nester. What is going to happen to me? And so on. But the point is that is a great, great moment. Why? Because all these years, these amazing women gave their heart and their mind for the care of the kids. So now the world needs to take this care, right?
Yes.
So,
Yes.
and then,
Yes.
like, their mind was full of the kids' programs, needs, whatever they had to do.
Mm-hmm.
So they amazing opportunity at this specific moment in time.
Mm-hmm.
The words.
Yes, and this is why I agree with you wholeheartedly. I mean, this reinvention, evolution can occur anywhere, but there's certain stages in life where it becomes you have to like this stage we're in is like, are you viewing it as an opportunity or is it the end of your life? Are you looking at it as the next? I have the next 50 years to live, or you're like, oh my God, I'm done. So it's the it's the perspective we have. And I said, like you said, it so beautifully is that we have generally looked after most other people in our lives. And now it's our time to look after ourselves, and understand what we are and who we are. And to that point, Niki, I talk a lot about Ikigai in this podcast. And so most of my listeners understand it. But I would like, if you could, from your perspective and your teachings and your learnings with experts, reframe that for us in terms of briefly, like what is Ikigai? How can we practically apply it in our lives? I know just for our audience, Ikigai is a Japanese term originating in Okinawa, Japan. They did research on people why did they live for so long? And the concept translated means reason for being. But from your perspective, tell us a little bit what your thoughts are on the concept.
I find the best tool and the easiest and the simplest to find your purpose. To find your purpose is not something that's easy.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to go to refine and refine your beliefs, your perspectives, and so on to understand who you are. So the main question is, who am I? In order to realize who am I, you need to find some specific things that Ikigai shows in a very, very nice and straightforward way. It has actually 4 circles that they connect in the middle with a circle which called it is your Ikigai. It's what connects the following. What you love to do, what are your passions, maybe your talents, what you are good at. Because maybe you start your career as an accountant and you're excellent in numbers.
Mm-hmm.
But you might be playing guitar or drawing, or I don't know. And then there is another circle, which is what the world needs. For me, this is the most important because we recognize what humanity needs and what connects us with each other. Because no one can thrive in isolation. No one. Imagine you have amazing passion and amazing gifts, but you don't know you are alone and you are not connected with the world.
Yes.
There is no point.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Right.
So you need to see how you can offer these gifts to the world. And last but not least is like, can pay me for what I'm doing. So how monetize this? And through my retreats, I need to tell you, Kavita, that I found that this is the most difficult for people.
Yes.
For several reasons. A, because they don't know how to do it. B, because they are afraid to ask. Yes. Because they don't know what's going on with the market, how to make it happen, what I'm going to do. I love, let's say, painting. I'm just saying something completely.
Yes.
I love painting, and all my life I was a great marketeer, but I love painting. How can I connect? It doesn't mean that you need to pay. So you need to find through your Ikigai what are the common things and your unique human qualities that I told you before that can monetize this. So for someone can be, you can become an agent of an artist. You still love painting. And as you grow older, people listen you more. They can monetize their passion for creativity
Yes.
that it can buy. Ikigai.
Yes.
They need something good for this world because they will support art. Clear? I don't know. Do you want?
It's very clear. And that, I'm glad you mentioned it because I take my clients through this process. And you're right, that process of what can you be paid for? Often I think that that's the barrier, right? And they say, well, I can do this, but I can't, no one's going to pay me. So I kind of switch it a little bit and say like, well, what was going to bring abundance into your life? It doesn't, even if let's say, maybe you're not going to make money in the first 3 months or 6 months, but what kind of abundance is if you approach that thing, how is it? It's going to be, eventually give you money, but I'm talking about abundance of purpose, abundance of happiness, abundance of flow, all of that. And that changes it a little bit. And then, oh, okay, I can think of it that way. Like I'll give you an example of a woman that one of my clients, she's been in the government in healthcare for a long time, but her whole passion has always been music and art. And she put it buried away in a closet. And as I was working with her, she brought it out again and she goes, oh my God, Kavita, my whole life is now flowing. And she was very upset. She wasn't happy with her work. Now she's like, I'm okay with it. It's all good. And she said, yeah, maybe eventually, maybe I'll open up a school and I'll make money or whatever. But right now, this is bringing so much abundance into my life. So I just wanted to point that out. Yeah.
100% I agree with you. 100%. Abundance means the following things. First of all, why we need money? When I said monetize. Money we need, people need to clarify why they need money. Is it safe or for freedom? Because to have money, just to have money, there's no.
Yeah.
So what? If it is for freedom, people can find the way to become free. I go back to your point. Or if they want to feel safe, they have to find what are their anchors, how they feel safe. And this gives them the way to monetize things.
Yes.
I meditate a lot. I meditate every single morning. I don't even know how many years. I even have a meditation certification. As a teacher, I use it just for me. And when I think about abundance, I have to tell you that 3 things that comes in my mind with this priority are the following. Abundance in health, abundance in love, and an abundance of freedom.
Love it.
This is it.
Yeah.
So exactly as you said, I agree 100%.
Yes. Yes.
The way we need to see it.
Right. And then it opens up a lot. It doesn't restrict you as much. And because if you think, oh, I got to make money doing this, then it restricts you. But I love that abundance and health, love, and freedom. Wonderful. Wonderful.
That people need money to live.
Yes.
What's important? I'm saying this because it's exactly as a factory works that needs they have some expenses, electricity.
Of course, yes.
We have our houses, we have to pay the rent, I don't know. So we need to take into consideration and be very practical in these things.
Yes.
So we need to be sure that our main expenses are covered in a way we can co-create more. And that's important point, and that's important point of the Ikigai. In a way, do you need a house of 10 rooms,
Mm,
or you need a house of 2 rooms and to enjoy life more?
yes.
So I think this identification of needs is essential when you try to find your purpose.
I love that because, yes, I mean, what do you need that will make you feel like it's either, like you said, the safety or the freedom, and that you have to really identify that. And that is so important. Yeah. Every time I talk about this, there's so many different perspectives and angles. I love it. So, Niki, from your experience, Niki, you're a very successful woman. You've evolved and changed. And so, for women who are listening, maybe just who are kind of on this cusp of figuring out what's next, and maybe having fears or they're facing challenges, and what is some of maybe one piece of advice or one thing that you could share from your experience about the challenges that they may be feeling like I can't do this, or how do I do this, or I'm stuck, the feelings that we all have when we're about to embark on something big.
First of all, I had so many setbacks. You can't imagine.
Me too.
The road, just one straight line. If you want to really live your life, you need to go back again and again in this thing that we call life, as I call it, the arena of life. You need to go back and you need to step up again and try once more. And as we said before about the setbacks, actually they show you the right direction. So if you see your failures as lessons, this is the only way to have progress. So this is one thing. The other thing I have to say, and this is something that I say to my kids also, that they are 20 years old, and we try, I think it's the most difficult thing, even for me, even for now, the word no fear.
Mm-hmm.
It will never help you in anything. In anything.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing fear can create is uncertainty about yourself. And the moment that you feel uncertainty, you are not going to proceed. Or even you are not going to proceed with joy. And when we try to reinvent life, one thing that we need to have is joy. We need to have joy.
Yes, we do.
This is important. So my proposal is no fear. And you might tell me, it's easy to say how you do it. One thing or one practical tool that I do is actually I'm going to tell you 3 of my daily habits that I find them very helpful.
Yes, please.
Well, one thing is that I keep for the last, I don't know, maybe 15 years, maybe 20, a gratitude journal.
Mm-hmm.
And this gratitude journal is the following. The moment I wake up in the morning, without talking to my husband, without doing nothing, I just go alone in silence, having my espresso that I like. Oh, my espresso. I open my journal with something like that. I have one like that here. Look, my journal.
Yes, yes.
And
I have one too, also. Yeah.
I write 3 things that I'm grateful. And it doesn't mean that they need to be profound things and ideas. It can be, I'm grateful for the taste of this nice espresso. It can be, I'm grateful for the birds I listen because spring is starting. I'm grateful because I am full of love. People love me. Or whatever you feel it is for you the right thing. The reason I'm saying simple things is that if someone is doing this and try to write different things, 3 different things every day, and this is like, as I'm saying, this is like a prescription. If you deal with gratitude journey exactly as a medicine, and you do it for 21 days, you will see that there is metamorphosis in your life. You will see your life transform.
Mhm.
Because there is a very simple reason. You start seeing things differently.
Yes.
You don't start thinking, oh my God, what I'm going to have. You start your day,
Yeah.
right?
It creates what I talk about a lot is called anabolic energy, positive energy, the positive thoughts which create it leads to so many other opportunities in your life.
The second one is I meditate. I
Mhm.
meditate and pausing, because meditation is the following. It's actually the bridge between two thoughts. It gives you this amazing like calmness to realize things. You don't go for answers, but answers come to you. So you might meditate with a guided meditation, or you might, if you are more advanced, you can do it like in silent mode or using like your mantra.
Mhm.
But the point is that you don't expect specific output from it. And there is no good or bad. The other thing that I have a special section also in my book, it's about gratitude and curiosity.
Mhm.
I believe they go together. You need to feel grateful. And when you feel grateful, your heart and your mind opens up. And when they opens up, you start seeing other things, new things.
Mhm.
So what helps me a lot is the following. Let's say I like basketball. So let's say that I like basketball. I will start to listen a podcast about history, something completely random. I like neuroscience. I will start listen also a podcast about entrepreneurship. All I love fashion, but I might learn something about, I don't know, sipping, completely irrelevant things. Why? Because when you listen specific things, you can connect different dots.
Yeah.
And we are so amazingly creative as humans. So the only thing we need to do is focus on something. And when we focus, our curiosity expands. And if our curiosity expands,
I love it. Gratitude, meditation, and curiosity. That's what's wonderful. So you were
and
saying about your book?
I'm very happy about that because it gives me these tools. It's
Yes.
a method.
Yes.
And
I
that's
think that's so important because these concepts to many are a little bit out there. Like they don't understand how do I apply this? Like maybe people are like, I don't really know how to meditate it. I can't stop my thoughts. And then it's a practical way. Well, you don't have to force it. Just sit in silence or just, even breathe. That can be a form of meditation. And so I think having a practical guide like your book is really important, as you said, for humanity to move forward and grow, because how do we do it practically? I could talk to you forever. I love it.
yeah, so many things during the retreat because you are joining your retreat.
Yeah. So tell us, please, about what's happening for you and where our listeners can learn about you and your work and all of those great things.
So we do retreats, as I told you, from
Yes.
Dragon. So we meet for third year in a row with Deepak Chopra. This year we will welcome also Esther Perel in Greece. These two are like the biggest names
Yes.
that we, and I feel very grateful for that. But apart from that, last year we started with the author of the book Ikigai to offer retreats together. So me and him, we do the Ikigai retreats. And what we do during these retreats, actually, first of all, we meet like-minded people, like me and you that we met, and we
Yes.
loved it. We can discuss forever, right?
Yes.
And these retreats, they end up becoming, all the people who participate, they become lifelong friends. Something that it's amazing. Apart from that, people, we try to assist them because they do it alone. We assist them to find their purpose, but actually also to make it a real action. And people will realize, as Francis says, and I agree, that they might have even two purposes.
Hmm.
And there are many other things that people love to listen. We have a lot of fun at the same time. And we learn because in all Travel Gems retreats, we have the following pattern: education, evolution, integration. So people learn something that they love to know. They evolve not only from the teachings, but also through the social interactions with other people and the culture and the images they see. And lastly, they integrate whatever they learn in their daily lives. So next time, we are going to Zermatt, to the beautiful Switzerland.
Yes, can't wait.
And then, I have to say, and then we have another Ikigai in Madrid, late September. So only for your audience, in case they send us a message to info@travelgems.com and they write the name of the podcast, then they are going to receive a special discount just for your audience.
Oh,
How would
lovely.
they-
Thank you so
Yeah?
much. That's wonderful.
It would be lovely to meet you. And imagine that we can have people together, me and you, in Zermatt, and we
Oh, yes, that would be amazing. Yes. Well, immediately when I saw it, I said, "Oh, something inside me said I have to go. I'm going to go." You can see. I'm sure my listeners can understand why just from listening to you. So that's wonderful. Thank you for the offer. That's wonderful, and I would encourage everybody listening to, if that's even has piqued your interest, please reach out and even ask questions and to Nikki or I, and we'd be happy to answer them. It was just such honestly, a wonderful pleasure to discuss these really, really important concepts, I believe, and get your perspective and your experience. And it's lovely. And I really appreciate your time. And I can't wait to see you in person.
It's such a pleasure talking with you. This subject is amazing. And I hope, and I believe strongly that every human has purpose and also can live a happy and evolving life. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Nikki. It was wonderful. I hope this conversation with Nikki inspired you as much as it inspired me. From her journey through corporate success and entrepreneurship to discovering her true purpose through Ikigai. Nikki reminds us that our greatest reinventions come from listening inwards and aligning with what truly lights us up. Here are her key takeaways. Reinvention isn't about change, it's about evolution. Ikigai gives us a practical and powerful framework to align our passion, purpose, and even our income. And you're never too early or too late to rediscover yourself and step into your next chapter with clarity and courage. If this episode sparked something in you and you're ready to explore your Ikigai, I'd love to support you on that journey. Reach out to me directly at Kavita@itsmytimenowcoaching.com. If you're ready to get clear on your purpose and take the first step towards your reinvention, and you don't have to figure it all out alone. And remember, if you're interested in attending the Ikigai in Nature retreat in Zermatt, Switzerland this June, at a discounted rate for being a loyal listener of this podcast, contact me at Kavita@itsmytimenowcoaching.com for all the details. I will be there interviewing Francis Morales, the famous author, live during the retreat, and we will be diving deeply into how to find your Ikigai and apply it into your life. If you're interested, connect with me at Kavita@itsmytimenowcoaching.com. Until next time, my friend, keep evolving. Your next chapter is calling.